All right. All right. It's up. Wow. Ask me why I'm doing this. I have no idea why I'm doing this. No, I know why I'm doing this. Why I'm streaming myself troubleshooting a portfolio software project on a Friday evening. But the reasons are deep and dark, and I don't want to go into them. This is because this is my life when my kids aren't here. Okay, truth. I'm out of work. I've been out of work for a long time, and so not a long time, a few months. That Trump economy hasn't kicked in yet. No, or it's just that my resume sucks. And I decided to get out the old portfolio of junior developer-ish apps that I was working on at the time that my divorce happened, and which all got obliterated along with my life at that time, right around COVID. I spent so much of my life in the early morning before my kids woke up, and late at night after they went to bed, trying to learn how to write software and maybe get a job that paid enough to support a family. And then I got it. Then I finally got it. Got the job of junior Java developer, and then about a month into that job, I came home one day on a Friday, and the house was empty. So here we are, 5 years later. And got my custody, got my kids 50-50. Have had so for the past 5 years. That's all fine and good. After 4 years, after a year of homelessness. Got my kids 50-50, but this is the 50% when they're not here. And this is what I do when they're not here. I'm trying desperately to build something for them, and I suck at it. I don't mean build an app for them. I mean, I'm trying to climb out of college student loan debt and make something of myself, which is really hard when you're me. Anyway, that's a lot of exposition, and you're not watching anyways. So it just occurred to me, and I'm not drinking. I know this is drunk troubleshooting. I've got a six-pack in the fridge, and I'm really tempted to, what is it now? 611? I'm really tempted to crack open one of those things. But once you do that, then it begins the slow descent, right? So I'm trying to eke out the last of this cup of coffee, and I've been at this, what is today, Friday? My kids have been gone since Wednesday morning. I've been at this night and day, except for going out and running miles on the trail. This is what I've been doing. So I keep hitting these pain points where I get stuck, just completely stuck. And then I have these flashes where I figure out what's going on. And I just think I had one, but I was so impressed with myself. If you know anything about JavaScript or Node.js or React or anything like that, I'm I'm an idiot. Okay, all right. I think I just figured out something that would probably be obvious to anybody who knew anything about this shit. But I've been having some trouble, and then I just had this flash across my mind of maybe a way to handle it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to make a little video out of this, and I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to see if I can capture my brilliance in real time here. This is such an what's the point of this? So I've got this Node.js app. It's a React app. It's got a React front end and a Node.js back end. And I'm following a tutorial building this. Please don't think that I'm like a full stack developer. But at a certain point in building this app and testing the front end module and testing the back end module and testing the front end module and testing the back end module, at a certain point, you got to run them together. You got to run them, here comes the word, concurrently, right? Well, it just so happens there's this JavaScript library for running things. See, I can't even talk like a developer. Concurrently, right? So I imported that into the project, and the command line environment that the guy who's kind of like conducting this tutorial is using is a Unix environment, and I'm on something different. I'm in Windows PowerShell, and some of the commands and some of the syntax don't translate. And so, for instance, there is this server script. I want to start the back end. Look, like right now I'm in, let's look down here. Okay, so there's this React tutorial. That's the name of the whole app, inclusive of the front end and the back end. And then I've got separate directories for, look, cd server. I've got a server directory. We'll back out of that. And I've got a client directory. Okay, and in the client's all the front end stuff, and in the server's all the back end stuff. Now, both of these have to be running, again, wait for it, concurrently for me to see this thing in action. And the problem is that when I downloaded this JavaScript library that he recommends for running these two things concurrently, it doesn't like the syntax in my scripts here. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see my finger. It doesn't like the syntax in these scripts. So for instance here, this is a script called server, okay? And the only reason this script is necessary is because I might be in, let's look down here again, I might be in the parent folder of this project. If I just go down into the server folder, here, cd server, then I can just go npm start, and I can just run the server, okay? Look, there it goes. Wait. There it goes. Okay, so let me quick kill that. Or I can use nodemon, which is this cool JavaScript library that allows the server to stay live as you make changes and just publishes the changes live. So let me do that. Nodemon start. So look, there. Okay, the server started. Great, but that's if I'm down in the server directory. But what happens if I need to eventually run these things at the same time, the client and the server, and therefore I'm operating from a directory above them both? Okay, right? Maybe you see the problem forming here. Well, he's got this script. He gives you this little script, change directory into server and start nodemon start. Okay, so look, this too will also work. Watch, I'm going to go up into the parent directory, cd ... Now we're in the parent directory, and if I run this, how does it go? npm run server. Okay, so this, I'm going to run this script right here. And what it's going to do is it's going to dig down into the server folder and then start the server from this parent folder. We're in the parent folder right now, so watch. npm run server. There it is. It works. Okay. So far, so good. But there's a problem. Oh, let me just show this as well. Hang on. Let me kill that. All right. Now, what if I want to run the client? Let me go into the client folder and just show you the client. And what am I doing here? Cd client. Okay, now I'm going to run the front end. npm start. Okay, now here's the front end starting. Okay, and what that does, let me go over here into the tree, or whatever it is. And actually, let me bring up the front end so you can see it. I'm going to pull this down into the window here as soon as it loads. Loading. Okay, here it is. It's a dumb little app I made. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. There we go. Called bibliothèque. Okay, that's a French word for library. This is just a little CRUD. Create, update, delete. Create, read, update, delete. It's just a little library app. You just can enter books, author, title, publish date, and then it just, it's like a database, and it's connected to a database on the back end. Okay, so you'll notice no books found because currently we're not connected to the database because we're just not done yet. The two things aren't linked. So I got a front end, I got a back end. So you can create entries here, you can view the entries, but there's nothing there to look at. Okay, so there it is. So let me kill this for a second. Kill the server. This is going to get really exciting, I promise. If you're me. If you're not, you'd be like, why am I wasting my time watching this guy talk to himself? It's because I really think I've had an idea here, and I'm so dumb about this stuff. I've tried for so many years in my life to be one of these guys. Starting at an adult age and self-teaching this stuff, and I suck at it. And yet, it's so gratifying when you figure stuff out. It's really a real sense of accomplishment when you go from that moment of what the hell is going on here? What does any of this mean? And then you're like, wait, I kind of see how I might do this. And I had one of those moments a little bit ago when I was thinking about this problem. So let's review the problem. I got to run the client and the server at the same time. Now, the guy conducting the tutorial was like, here it is. You download this concurrently command. After you download this library called concurrently, what's going on here? This whole line right here. You run this command. So just say npm start from the parent directory, and it'll run this script called start. And this script says concurrently run the server sequence, where you dip down into the server folder, run the server, and then you go back up and dip down into the client and run the client folder. You run these two things concurrently in parallel. The problem is when I do that, PowerShell does not like it. I'll show you. Oh, actually, I'm not using Let me get back to PowerShell here. Right now, I'm in the command prompt shell environment, whatever you want to call it. Okay, back to PowerShell. Now we're in PowerShell. And incidentally, it doesn't work there either, so nothing's fucking working. So if I go npm start, what I'm telling, I don't know, Node, what I'm telling Node to do here is to run the script. I keep pointing with my finger at the screen. Man, I'm an idiot. Is to run this script called start, which now should work with this library called concurrently and run these two. This is like a conjoined thing. It's like run this thing and the quote, start a new quote, run that thing. It's supposed to run those in parallel. Watch what happens. It does not. It errors out. So here's the problem. See, I can't test the application as a whole. I can't hook up the database and the front end and move forward and eventually deploy it and put it on my portfolios, and then deploy it to AWS and put it on my portfolio as a demonstration of my semi-understanding of JavaScript and my ability to deploy apps to AWS. All that shit. I can't do that because I can't get the server and the client running together. I suppose maybe I could open up two command prompt windows. Could you do that? Maybe I could, but this is more exciting because I think I came up with a solution. So I'm like, okay, well maybe now you might say, well, maybe it's these two-part commands. Maybe it just doesn't like. So this should be 2 ampersands here. Maybe Node just doesn't like these conjoined commands, like change directories into server folder and then run node mount start. That's not true because watch. I thought that might be it. It's not. Here's the first revelation. It's not a Node issue. It's not a problem with Node.js because look, if I go this is the server script. See how server has a conjoined command too? Dip down into the server, node mount start. So if I run, remember earlier we ran the server from the server folder? I can run the server from the upper folder too, from the parent folder by running the script called server. I can do that by going npm run server, and guess what? It works. Boom. Now what does that tell me? That tells me that the problem is not this conjoined command. So which now if we transpose back up into this script, the problem isn't here. Or at least not primarily here. The problem is something about this syntax, maybe involving these ampersands, when you bring them into the context of this JavaScript library called concurrently. It doesn't like it. And I've tried replacing it with a single ampersand. I've tried putting quotes around the ampersands. I've tried replacing the ampersands with a semicolon. I've just been Googling and Stack Overflowing all afternoon. And then I was like, oh, you idiot. This is my life. I just sit here and talk to myself when my kids aren't here. I have nothing, I have nothing. This is what I do. So, I was like, wait a second. If it doesn't have, here was the big revelational moment, and this is why I decided to go live with this, because I want to see myself figure this out in real time. Troubleshooting is so hard, and sometimes the most obvious thing is sometimes you try too hard. It's like, wait, no, just pull back. You can do simple solution available to us here. So given that this works, like we just saw, let me kill the server, by the way. Yes, kill it. Given that, I keep pointing at the screen with my finger again. All right, given that this works, then could I not, instead of trying to run this wonky, disquotational, escape character laden string through concurrently because it's not dealing with it well. Couldn't I just, why can't I just create some other scripts? Here's what I mean. Why couldn't I just create a new script that was just this and another script that was just this and then run concurrently those two scripts? Oh! Instead of just trying to run concurrently these two sets of commands. Do you see? Because concurrently doesn't like the ampersands. But if I submerge, for lack of a better word, the ampersands in another script, then concurrently doesn't see those ampersands. They get encapsulated. See, here's what I mean. This is just my idea, and I think it's going to work, so we'll see. I'm going to come up with two new scripts. I'm just going to just do this, I guess. Can you do this? I think you can do this. One's just going to be called, I don't know how to name these things. I don't know how these things work. I don't know how people do this stuff. I'm going to call this one dev client. Okay. And, okay, now what's this one going to look like? Well, it's going to be this. Dip down into the client folder and start that shit, right? That's it. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to have to modify this a little bit once I get it up there. Okay, I'm going to take this. Get rid of this, what do they call it? Escape character. Oh, it's a comma. Sorry. Okay, so now we've got a new script called dev client. Okay, and now what do you think I'm going to do next? Well, I guess I wouldn't need to. Oh, I guess I wouldn't need to write a new one for the server. I guess to be like symmetrical and thorough I could, but I essentially have this one right here. Oh, okay. Okay. So why don't we quick go to the concurrently documentation and see what the syntax is for running two scripts. Although, can it be, maybe we can just guess at it, because look, this is the name of a script. Nothing to it, right? There it is. So if what you do in concurrently is just surround the name of this of the command you want to get with a quote, then it seems like if I want to run, I am going to have to run. Oh no, I'm going to just use this one. I'm just going to use this one. Okay, sorry. Seems like, no, let me undo that because I want to see what the syntax was. Okay, here's what I mean. I just want to change this start script to have server as the first command. Right? Yeah. And I don't think I need these quotes. Right? Let's just try it. Okay, I'm going to say run. Let's go to the documentation real fast. Google. Let me bring it down where you can see it. Okay, so we're going to go to concurrently JS. Conjoined commands. Or, here, let's just go to there. So this usage. Okay, so we go to usage. This is their documentation. Okay, concurrently, command 1, argument, command 2. Okay, so just in quotes. That's it. That's it. So, but the command, it's not quite that simple because in this context, the command isn't just, is it just the script? Start concurrently, command 1. In package.json escape quotes. Wait, what if I want to run a script? Oh man, is this not going to work? Can command 1 be the name of another script? Okay, we're just going to have to try to find out. That's what we're going to find out. Here we go. All right. So it's going to look like what? We're going to go concurrently. Dev client. Let's do server first. Concurrently. Let's just try this. Let's just say server. Maybe it's run server. Let's just try server. And this one will say dev client. Okay. Now what this is saying is start. Oops. There. Start concurrently the script called server, which is here, which does the server stuff, and the script called dev client, which is here, which does the client stuff. Now, why should that not work? Let me just look at the documentation real quick again. Let's pull it down. It's just not clear to me whether the arguments here are considered. Like, here's what I'm asking. Can other scripts be arguments to a script? See, start is a script name. Then it has command argument 1, command argument 2, which in our previous context was just PowerShell commands. Can these be scripts? I think they can. You might be saying, why don't you just run it? Because I like to know first. Google.com. Concurrently run multiple scripts. NPM or something like that. To run multiple NPM scripts in parallel, you can use Task Runner like these tools. Okay. Concurrently, JS, multiple scripts. I don't want to. The usual way to run multiple commands is run, watch. That's fine. But here we go. Okay, scripts. Start. Okay, scripts. Client, server. Okay. Now say. Okay, here. This is what I'm doing here. npm start client. Yeah. So how can we use concurrently to run client and server together? The answer is concurrently / npm run client concurrently. Oh, okay. npm run. Here we go. Moment of truth. Then I'm out of here. Where's my VS code? So start should be concurrently npm run server npm run dev client. File save. Is this confusing to me because these other commands embedded within the scripts that I'm referencing, these are like start commands, like npm start node. Like I'm saying start here, but this wants to start the script. That's different. Oh, that should work. I don't see why this should work. Okay, or why this shouldn't work. So here we go. So now typing here in the parent folder npm start should run this script. This script has two components that it's supposed to run in parallel because of this thing called concurrently. It has server, which is this one, which is dip down into the server and start it, and dev client, which is this one. It says dip down into the client folder and run an npm start from the client folder. Oh shit. Let's go to the client package.json real fast. Okay. Let's just see what the start script in the package.json in the client folder looks like. Start React scripts. Yeah, that should work. Oh, I'm like nervous to. Why did I stream? Why did I push record to watch myself broadcast myself failing here? All right. Well, here we go. Fuck! This is the same shit that was happening earlier. Node produces these errors that are like even if you go to the logs, like here, it's just totally unhelpful. Failed at server 00 startup script. Failed at the server startup script. This is probably not a problem with npm. There's likely additional logging in the output above, but there's not. Concurrently, npm run server, npm run dev client, exit status 1. And if you go to the logs, it's unhelpful. Watch this. Open the logs, and it just says same shit. I thought I was so smart for thinking of this. Why would that not work? Can we just Google this real fast? I never know it. Code ERRNO1. So let's just Google this, see what this means. Maybe we'll find something out about it. I'm strongly considering getting that beer now. Node.js ERRNO1. Trying to learn React. I have a sample code for a full stack voting app. I'm trying to get to work after running npm install followed by npm start. I received the following error when I run npm start. Can anyone help me with this issue? Okay, let's look for a solution here. Somebody 500. Okay. Step 1, npm clean cache force. Step 2, delete node modules. Or delete manually by. I'm not deleting package lock.json. I'm not messing with that stuff. Yeah, it's worth mentioning in many instances it's not recommended to delete package lock.json because of dependency version rollbacks. Oh man. See, I get that everyone's saying it's like a caching issue here, but I think for me it has something to do with this thing that I thought was going to work that didn't. And yet, why shouldn't it? Start script. Concurrently. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Does that say RPM? Does that say RPM? Look right here. Is that an N or an R? It's an R. Well, that's an issue. Maybe we want that to be an M. Just a thought. That's interesting. It didn't get picked up on because, you know, by the code editor because it's disquoted. It's quoted out, so it's not reading. Interesting. Okay, maybe it will work now. Make sure we got no other obvious spelling errors. Again, run npm run server, which dips down the server, node run start, run npm dev run dev client, which dips down into the client, and npm start. Since we know that one of these conjoined commands works, there should be nothing intrinsically inherently wrong with those. So why can't we just make a script that runs two other scripts concurrently? I feel like that's what the JavaScript library concurrently was designed for. So npm start. Fuck. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm gonna open a beer now. Oh, man. Why? Why can we not do this? Same life, same issue. Whatever it is, concurrently npm failed. Probably not a problem with npm. It's likely additional log output above. There's not additional log output above. I mean, were the ports here? Let's just make sure that the ports were dead. npx kill port 3000. npx kill port 4000. npm start. Damn it. All right, now I'm ready to try this from Stack Overflow. So, oh God, am I gonna hate myself for deleting node modules? First of all, there's node modules in client. No, there's node modules in the parent folder, and there's node modules in the server folder. There are no node modules in the do I need to install concurrently? Oh, there are actually no modules there too. So just delete them everywhere? All right, step 1, cache clean force. Step 2, delete node modules. Or delete it manually by going to the directory, right click, delete, move to trash. If you're not updating your packages, you can delete package log. If you're not updating your packages, you can delete package log.json file too. Okay, I'm gonna leave that. I'm not gonna do that. Then do npm install. Then do npm start. Why would this work? Why? Oh, what's this? We got logging? Wait, whoa. Reference error. Abort controllers. Is there a drum circle going on outside? I can hear... I feel like the mic is picking up the hippie drum circle in the park. Barely. I can hear it. Okay, here's the only two things I'm picking up on here. Reference error and the name concurrently. So why... We have a problem. Are we missing something from concurrently? Did we not install concurrently? Of course we did. So what's the issue? Abort controller is not defined. const abort controller equals new abort controller. But I mean, maybe it's a version issue. Maybe it's a version issue. Oh. Concurrently JS node 14. Concurrently JS node JS compatibility. Installation. Concurrently can be installed in the global scope if you like to have the whole system, or locally for a specific package. The script. Oh! Wait. I'm looking at the documentation here. Concurrently can be installed in the global scope if you'd like to have it available to use on the whole system, or locally for a specific package. For example, if you'd like to use it in the scripts section of your package. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I have no idea whether global would be inclusive of local, or local would be inclusive, or global would be inclusive of local. It seems just by the definitions that it would. And yet what they say here, for example, if you'd like to use it in the script section of your package, that makes me feel like, yeah, that is what I'm trying to do. So why would that not work? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to install it in each one of these subfolders. So we're going to go to server folder. Why should you have to do this? If you've installed it in the parent folder, this seems silly. This is probably nothing. npm id concurrently okay. Now I'm going to go to the client folder, cd cd client. Do the same thing there. npm concurrently. Install it there. It's like, why should you have to do this? And yet, when you look at the dependencies, which one is this? This is, we're looking at the, which one are we looking at here? I did install this, right? Why isn't it listed in the, what I'm asking is, why don't I see concurrently listed here? I'm in the main. Oh, wait a second. What if I go to the servers? Is that where I put it? Is this going to work yet? This might work. I think that when I originally installed this, I only installed it. No, we installed it the larger folder. What I'm saying is I installed concurrently in the parent folder that holds both the client and the server. I'm going to look at package.json for the server now. Yeah, there's no concurrently anywhere. How? Oh, dev dependencies concurrently. Okay. Why is that not look like that in the other ones? Where's the dev dependencies here? What about the client? Is it there? Client. Dev dependencies concurrently. Okay, well, it'd be great. Okay. I used the wrong command to install concurrently. I need to go up. Here, watch this. Up a folder. I bet after I do this, it'll be in the dev dependencies on the main package.json, which is this one right here, which has the things that see how it's not down here? See how there's no mention of it here? So we're going to run that local installation command in the parent folder. I've just installed concurrently 3 times. I hope that doesn't fuck shit up now. Okay. And now there it is. Oh, was it there before? Shit. All right, well, we'll see. If this doesn't work, I quit. I'm going to open a beer. PM. Actually, let's do this. Install. Let's go cd client npm install. cd server. I think you have to do this, right? Like after you, it's kind of like a pom.xml in Maven. Isn't that what these package.jsons are like? So after you've listed it, then you got to pull in these dependencies. I think that's what npm install does. Server and npm install. All right. If this doesn't work, open up Tinder. Just kidding. Oh, it's going to be World War II documentaries and beer for the rest of the night. That is my life. CD ... Okay, so now we're going to try to run this script again. Concurrently is present everywhere, and it should understand run server. Here's the server script, and it should understand run dev client. Here's the dev client script. I'm so scared to do it. I know it's just going to error out again. npm start. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. All right, I'm done. I don't fucking know.